Here is a small segment on closing hives for the season and some feeding that I'm doing. You'll see the front of the hives, which is their main entrance. What we do in the winter time is we put on mouse guards. Number one, to keep mice from getting in. The bees are able to get out all of those 3/8" holes, but it keeps and limits the amount of cold air going in. Another thing we do is you'll see the outer cover open now. It's called telescoping for air. We will close them, again, to restrict air. So as we walk around the front, oh, hello chickens, how are you? The chickens are right behind the bees, and the bees never bother the chickens. So now we're back in back of the hives. You'll see these weird boxes that are on top of the hives. That's the first and second floor here. These are feeding boxes where we have quarts of syrup that I'm feeding bees. It's one particular way of spot feeding. Then we'll go to this hive over here. This has what's called a top feeder. I can remove this entire top box because the bees have a plexiglass shield that they crawl down to get to the syrup. Then they crawl back up and go down the inside of the feeder, and they take the syrup down to their hive to fill up their stores for the winter. That's another method of feeding. We also use what's called internal frames, which is a large box that goes inside the hive, takes the place of a frame, and we can fill it up from the top with either spring or fall syrup. These are entrances where we put mite boards as you're checking for mite counts. We also use it in the winter time. There's a white board that slides in. The further we slide it in, the more it restricts the airflow from the bottom of the hive. And as it gets really cold, we will push them in, or if it warms up, we will pull them out. If we get a really cold blast like in February, excuse me, these yellow jackets are horrible, we'll put the board all the way in. That basically almost closes the hive off to keep the cold air out. Here's my honey buckets. When I put them in my warmer for filling, it has a residual of honey. I bring them out and put them at the hives. When they are done cleaning those buckets out, I do clean them with a Department of Ag certified sterilization process, but you could basically eat out of them, they're so clean. That's a small segment for fall feeding and partially what we do as we close them up for the winter time. Say goodbye to the chickens. Goodbye, chickens. Have a nice day. Talk to you soon.